Kyle. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Connect. Glad to have you in the house.
Good morning, Bobby.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm well, thank you. I just had a quick question. Never been really much of a car enthusiast. I just recently purchased a brand new Ford F-150, and I'm wondering as to what would be the proper way to break in the motor, because I've been getting various opinions and people telling me one way, read another way, hear about another way.
I
want to
can
know
tell you
the
this.
correct way.
Kyle, the correct way. The engine, the technology that, number one, you'd be hard pressed to damage the engine. If the engine is up to operating temperature and it has full of oil, I mean, all the normal lifebloods are new and fresh and full, and you want to go out and exercise the engine, you're not going to hurt the engine. Now, you wouldn't want to run it, I would say, 100 miles an hour for 5 hours because there are some parts that need wearing in. But today's technology, the metallurgy, the manufacturing machinery, the processes that are used are so advanced that literally when that engine goes together and is fired up at the factory, it's ready to be driven the way you want it to drive. And I will share this with you. There's a learn factor in the computer, and that learn factor will accept how you drive, and that transmission will learn to shift depending on how you drive the car, Kyle. So if you drive it really easy and slow, it's going to shift softly, and the timing is going to be reduced, and it's going to be a conservative engine, and so will the power. If you exercise that engine and, for instance, you turn on to, 15 there in Nevada, the I-50, is that what the highway is?
I-15 or
I-15,
US 95.
Yes, New US 95, been there. If you turn on to I-15 onto the on-ramp and you're going, let's say, 15 miles an hour and you nail the throttle, I mean, you leave the gear shift in drive, but you nail the throttle. This is with an engine that's fully warm, and the transmission downshifts, and the engine shifts all the way, and you hold the throttle all the way to the floor until the transmission automatically shifts from first to second, and then from second to third, you'll probably be running 65 or 70 by that time, and then you can back off and cruise. If you did that twice a day, for the first 2 weeks of the engine, your engine will not only break in faster and better, but the transmission will shift and will last longer. Yeah. And there's a learned memory, and it reads from the driver how the driver input, and it sets the idle speed, it sets the timing, it sets the tone and tune of the engine. So that's what I would recommend for you. Now, what do you do at 3,500 miles? At 35, how many miles do you have on your truck?
Oh, less than 100.
At 3,500, then I would recommend that you upgrade to a synthetic, and I chose Royal Purple. And certainly you choose whatever brand, but I recommend Royal Purple. And you use, if the engine calls for 530, use always 530. Summer, winter, makes no difference. The same viscosity oil, and the lighter the oil, I call it skinny oil, the lighter the oil, then the easier it is for that oil to go through and lubricate. And this is more to do with wear than driving. 40% of the wear of engine is caused when you first start the engine. So you want to make sure that you have the oil that is thin enough, and I call skinny enough, to shimmy through the tight tolerances so that the oil can reach the top of the engine and lubricate the cams and chains and all those sorts of things that are the last place the engine gets to oil.
Right.
You got it?
Yes. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Likis.
You're welcome, Bobby. Thanks, Kyle. We'll take